So, both sides of my family are very um, in the know and knowledgeable spiritually as well as worldly when it comes to things surrounding war as well as things surrounding spirituality. Um, I noticed it from my grandparents and my uncles all being especially talented in their work with the military and their work with the police. Um, but wasn't it wasn't them that made me realize it. It was the other family that was near them. Like I was able to see contrasts between their personalities and their habits that made me notice um, certain patterns that were out of line and also made me realize who wasn't always in alignment with the things that they claimed, you know, like someone being a bad cop, for instance, or good cops, allegedly, who would do things that benefited bad cops um, because of their affiliations, not as a cop, but in their extra. Everybody have habits. It seems everybody's got hobbies and habits, and some of those habits and hobbies include cults and covens and low vibration spells. And some of those things that are part of their hobbies were done onto me and were done for the focus of hate crimes against women. And there was that participation there against the women, me and women in my family, um, for the purpose or benefit of them in the flesh as well as them in the spirit realm. I'm talking about sex crimes, poverty spells, chaos spells, low vibration, beauty magic, which is how I came across my jacked up jawline, which I've been trying to fix since 2001. My teeth began just breaking and falling out of my mouth, and I learned that that was because beauty spells were happening to me 3 to 5 times. I was getting headaches and I wasn't sure of why I was feeling the headaches. It's because they were performing some sort of spell to drill into my head. And then one day I woke up, I felt like that pain in my face and head. And then I felt like something on my tongue. And when I took my finger, swiped it against my tongue, it was pieces of my teeth. And I wasn't grinding my teeth or anything like that. But after that day, when I suddenly started feeling it, my teeth would just start cracking and falling out. And that's been happening consistently since 2001. Um, and I've learned that that is a result of low vibration beauty spells that were being casted on me by my aunts and my cousins, especially, which that's some shady shit, but it's whatever. I'm just telling you, I'm moving past it, but it be your own family that that'll literally do you dirty with the intention of disfiguring you. And then during that same time, like no, since teen, Like I was a dancer at one point, and then when I stopped doing that, I noticed that all of a sudden I kept like gaining weight really fast, like during a very short time period. And whenever I would start becoming active and I would lose it, out of nowhere gain I would gain weight so freaking fast. And right now I'm dealing with that again. Like I'd lost weight, and during the fall I could tell the spells got ramped up. And between October and this month of August, I gained 50 pounds. Like, and it just boggles my mind because my diet changed, where I wasn't eating. I have not, like, I cut meat out, really, barely ever touch the stuff. I might occasionally have, I like gummy bears, so I'll eat that. But I don't understand how gummy bears will make you put on 50 pounds. But active beauty magic combined with 1,000 other people will do it. And that that happened, and it's happening to me, has happened to me. But weight is something that you can lose, right? These individuals have ugly hearts, they have ugly souls, their insides are rotten. Like, how are they gonna get rid of that? Like, I could always lose weight, but the face underneath their skin, like, how are they gonna get rid of that? And I'm able to move on through or from these things because I can live with the person I am underneath my skin. You know, I don't carry malicious intent for any person. So I I don't find it acceptable that, they're siphoning me and they're scrying into my home. Like, I discovered that my family was hacking me. Like, I've been dealing with hackers for years and years and years, and then I discovered that my my smart devices were hacked and being mirrored, duplicated, and shown on my aunt's living room television. And I discovered it, and I couldn't believe it because I hadn't stepped foot. Like, when I was able to figure out where the source was of the hacking, some of the hacking, I still haven't figured out all of it, but in the fall, I figured out that my devices were being mirrored. And when I started to disconnect some of them, I realized one of the locations it was connected to was the house that I lived in as a teenager, and I moved out of there for the final time when I was 24. I'm 42. I'm about to be 43 in a couple weeks. Yet somehow the living room TV in that house was showing everything in my emails, my Amazon. My Amazon. Why is my Amazon connected to my aunt's living room TV? Baby, it don't make sense. I had been in that house after moving out. However, I hadn't been there. I haven't, maybe, I'd say 5 or 6 years. And my devices were mirrored. That it didn't make sense to me, because when I went in that house and I remember using the TV, I didn't like, why is my device being mirrored? And I bought new phones. I've had new phones since. I've had several new phones since. Yet still my new phone is mirrored, and this new phone and that house never saw each other. You understand? Like stuff like that is how I was able to figure out that my aunt was involved in the BS that my father was doing. That is not what I wanted to believe for myself, even though it was something I was always suspicious of. However, it is what it is. I've discovered that a lot of the things that were done, the and individuals participating, getting involved. Over 1,000 people participated, in addition to my family and friends. My parents and legal guardians sold me into some sort of cult coven set where they sold off my destiny that was to be made manifest in the flesh, as well as my destiny and wealth in the spirit realm. How are you selling people, baby? What the hell is that about? The fact that this happens to other people is crazy to me. The fact that this happened to me is crazy. The fact that other people do these types of things on a daily basis is crazy. But the purpose seems to be for destiny swapping. It seems that my aunt gave one of her children, at least one of them, the impression that, or it was either one of her children or grandchildren, the impression that my destiny would go to them. And one of the things that was happening is, constant slander for the purpose of belittling me, but also to keep me from completing tasks, like from viewing me as a seer. They were able to tell that once I finished certain stages in my life, I would make certain accomplishments. So the aim was to keep me from ever graduating in any of my educational goals. So they would always get in my business, in innocent ways, innocent appearing ways, for the purpose of figuring out what it is that I was interested in, to keep me from doing those things. One of those things was my higher education goals. And every time I would make progress in education areas, I would become ill. I would become physically ill. My hair would start to fall out. I would suddenly become mentally unstable and not be able to complete it. And that's how I've recently discovered that the aim in everything they did was to keep me from graduating, because once I graduate, I'm going to go on and do bigger things. And that is a very disgusting and petty thing for family and friends to do, to perform and sell your being for the purpose of unaliving you and siphoning your existence so that they can buy homes, so that they can be you know, admired as, oh, you've done so much for this individual. Oh my God, and they didn't make it. Oh, look at your work. Everything you did was for nothing. Oh my God. That sort of thing, where individual, they want to pity, and they want to say that everything they did and I turned out, a certain way. And pity party is that's so tacky. Um, to want pity for the things you're doing to keep someone down is tacky. And that's why I'm calling it out, because I found out from the courts of heaven and from Holy Spirit that these individuals, including my friends, family and friends, the fact that I forgive, or that I consistently show that I can be a forgiving person, they feel that I don't deserve the status that I'll gain, because that means I'm a pushover. If you're a forgiving person, you're a soft person. And these people are deranged. And I want no association with them in any way. Like, I forgive doesn't mean I'm going to forget anything. And it doesn't mean that I'm unwilling to talk about it. The fact that you feel as though I'm so constantly forgiving is why I'm now putting your bitch asses on public display for the world to see. Starting with Fitzroy Gaynor and starting with Francita Gray. It is very, very distasteful for you to go out of your way to pay individuals to come into my life for the sole reason of sexually abusing me. Unacceptable. And also, Steve Williams III, your obsession with me is deranged. Committing crimes of sexual abuse through the astral plane is the astral plane, in addition with people you or who have pretend to be friends, is deranged. Your obsession with me. We stopped talking 20 years ago, buddy. 20 years. I am not interested in you, not even a little bit. And the fact that you're still, under some sort of delusion about me, thinking I'm interested in you and that you can get me, is crazy. We stopped talking 20 years ago. You are married with children. Why are you interested in me? Why do you continue to remote view me? Why do you continue to read into my mind? Why are you constantly viewing me whenever I take up a pen and start writing? Why are you and these individuals who claim to be my friends coming to my home, abusing me sexually, and assisting in this nastiness? We're not friends. I'm not rekindling anything. I don't want you. I don't even want to be your friend. I don't even want to be your acquaintance. I don't want to know you. I have forgiven, but that don't mean there's any chance of you and me even being remotely in the same vicinity. And the reason why you are mentally fixated on me, sir, is because you have entities attached to you. You have entities. Buddy, you have entities. And I don't exactly feel sorry for what's happening to you, because you've participated in crimes against me with friends and family and coworkers. Plotting against me for over 20 years? That's crazy. Maintaining connections to my social circle, even though you got a whole nother wife. You got a whole wife. wife and kids. Sick shit, please go away.